The debate over the Keystone Pipeline continues, and while some are concerned about potential environmental problems, supporters say that this pipeline will provide much-needed jobs and energy independence. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Comcast Newsmakers. I'm Robert Trainum. We're here on location in the U.S. Capitol, and joining me now is Congressman Doug Collins, Republican from Georgia. Congressman, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
There are a lot of folks, and I think you would agree with this, that say that the Keystone Pipeline is much needed in this country, not only from a job security perspective, but from an energy perspective. Why?
It is, because I think what it does is it puts us in a great perspective of increasing our energy supply, also increasing our jobs, and it does so in a way that is been proven, and we also have a broad support. I think that's the interesting thing.
Bipartisan support?
Bipartisan support, I think that you see, and although not from this president, and I think that's the interesting part. He is consistently chosen to side with his supporters, and many times he's also spoken about bipartisanship, but yet he never tells his base no. And I think that's one of the issues that we have right now. He talked about it in the State of the Union when you deal with energy independence and where we're going forward, but yet he doesn't want to move forward on the Keystone Pipeline. It would have been a perfect opportunity to do so. He chose not to. That's why I've signed on a letter with other members of the Foreign Affairs Committee saying this is something that we need to do, and I'm looking forward to him hopefully taking that up.
Now, Congressman, the president, along with some of his supporters that you mentioned a few moments ago, folks that are sensitive to the environment, they say, well, let's do this in a smart way. Let's make sure that we're not damaging our pristine environment. Let's make sure that the states and that the local counties and governments have buy-in to this process. Your response?
Well, I think there is buy-in. The Nebraska governor just endorsed the prospect as well. We're seeing that go along, and when you look at our pipeline community, when you look at what we're able to do now from safety, from also from an environmental friendly standpoint, those are the kind of things that I think make good policy. And not only make good policy, they make good economic decisions. If the president is truly interested in building a firm, growing, thriving middle-class economy, like he said, then we've got to have these jobs. This is one of those times when you look at it from whatever lens you want to look at it, but from a pure economic standpoint, this is something that makes sense not only from an energy independence standpoint and an energy job standpoint. So in my mind, it's saying this is what we need right now.
I think the average consumer at home that's watching this program are probably asking themselves, I want to ask you, will this really bring down prices at the pump? Let's say the Keystone Pipeline was built 5 years from now. Can we see a realistic decrease in gas prices? Well,
I think what it is the free market economy will always move towards supply and demand. And I think what this does is it gives us the ability to have that supply coming out into the refineries and building up on a base. And also, again, I would rather have that coming from this side of the world than from the other side of the world. As someone who served in Iraq and know the problems we have in the Middle East right now, and especially the unstable nature, this gives us an opportunity to do so and expand our supply, but also working with our refineries, which in the end, I believe, will work with with the free enterprise system to bring those costs down. But we also got to look at it from another part of the world. This is not going to go away. For those who say, well, this will just increase our environmental footprint and damage, this pipeline, if it's not built, the product's going to be sold somewhere else, and it's going to be sold to China, it's going to be sold to India, it's going to be sold in where the environmental controls that we have are nowhere close to what they would have. So I think in the end, it's something that works good for everyone.
So what is the next step? You mentioned that the president has put the stop on this, or the hold on this.
Right now.
What is the next step?
I think the next step is continuing to discuss this on forums like this, and to continuing to, as we have signed on to the letter, saying, Mr. President, this is something you need to move forward in. This is a time when you can show true leadership. This is a time in which, instead of the partisan rhetoric or the political rhetoric of saying that we want to be independent, that we want to move forward on energy, but yet at the same point putting stops to what I would call logical solutions like this, is really where we need to be. And I think the president, if he's serious about it, as he said he was, then we'll see movement on this. If he's not, then we'll continue to see more of the same.
And very quickly, we have about 10 seconds left. Do you believe that movement will happen very soon, maybe this year, next year, very quickly?
I'm hoping so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Congressman, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us for this edition of Comcast Newsmakers. I'm Robert Trainum. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you next time.